Here is what Jaguar Wright had to say about 50 Cent's documentary.
It was done too well. It left out too many things.
So can you speak on Curtis Jackson? 50 Cent said that this is the first one.
I'm sure.
There's hundreds of hours of more footage.
I'm sure there was hundreds of hours of that was confiscated from all of Diddy's homes in that HSI raid that never made it to the trial. I wonder where it made it to.
And the real reason why Jaguar Wright refused to be part of the Netflix documentary is even more shocking. Gene Deal, the man who knew every secret Diddy was trying to hide, was also missing from 50 Cent's documentary. Both Jaguar and Gene Deal are now in talks with 50 Cent to appear in Season 2. And we have all the details, starting with why Gene walked away from what he says was a trap.
Out in the thing, the lady was talking greasy to me. She had no right to talk greasy to me. And then she told me that 50 didn't have the power to do anything, but they using his name to like push the whole documentary. And that's what it was about.
Let's start from the beginning. 1 month after Diddy was arrested in September 2024, 50 Cent and Netflix announced they were working on a documentary featuring never-before-seen footage of Diddy that promised to expose all of his lies. 50 Cent heavily promoted the project and said in multiple interviews that he had been collecting evidence for years.
In particular, Netflix docuseries that you've been working on, Diddy Do It.
Right.
You've been saying for years that you feel you knew Diddy's character.
Right.
Yet you said you weren't a part of that lifestyle, you weren't going to the parties. So what makes you so absolutely sure that these kinds of allegations that we've seen against him are true?
Well, I'm surprised by the allegations, as surprised as everyone else is. Like, I didn't make the allegations. I didn't tell people to say these things. It comes out, I see it in the news like everyone else. But I did feel uncomfortable with the way he would present the idea of going to these projects.
To come party with me.
Yeah. And then that swayed me away from it just that long.
So you didn't realize
as much stuff has come. Like, when I see him today, it was allegations of 3 men that said he drugged them, and it's a long time, to be honest with you. Like, when people don't remember being violated for 20 years.
50 Cent knew that the person with the strongest evidence against Diddy was Gene Deal. Gene had been with Diddy for decades and had photographs, witness statements, and even video footage to support his claims. 50 wanted Gene in the documentary and had been posting clips of him on Instagram for years. He personally reached out to convince Gene to join.
A lot of people want to know why you wasn't in it, man.
Well, first and foremost, I thought I was going to be in the documentary at first until I started talking to that director. I think her name is Stapleton. I don't know her name. I don't know, man. Me and 50 talked like 45 minutes. The producers had been calling me and everything. So this one night, 50 called me up and, they got him on the phone, man. He was just talking. We was talking about old time down with Black Hands, sit down with, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So I told him that I was going to, have Kirk and Tim. Kirk would be the one who talk about the business part of it. Tim would be the one who talk about the growing up phase with Diddy and everything, and over there working in the record industry with him and stuff like that. They was like family. And I was going to talk about, the street stuff, what was going on with Bad Boy, with the security, with Wolf, with the City College, with, the time that I knew about when I was with him up until about early 2004 or something like that. But basically the streets and then the traveling with him and the atmosphere and everything. And then go back into the Notorious Big stuff with the Tupac and the whole 9 yards, all the stuff that I knew, you know what I'm saying? So we was talking and he sounded like, yo, listen to him. They gonna spare no expense with this whole documentary. So I said, all right, cool.
50 Cent was ready to pay Gene Deal whatever he asked because he knew how credible Gene was. Gene gathered all his evidence and even contacted Kirk Burroughs and other music executives who had been wronged by Diddy. He wanted to make sure 50 had everything needed for the documentary. But when Gene spoke with the producers, he realized something shocking. Netflix was using his image to promote the series and had no real intention of telling the full truth.
And then she was calling me like I was lying. I was like, yo, who do you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? And she was talking about, there's no way nobody paid. Nobody what? I say, first of all you people come with these documentaries and stuff. The first thing you tell me, y'all tell these people out here that y'all don't pay, and y'all pay. If you can make a picture look like $10,000, $15,000, you know what I'm saying? You can sit here and tell me that you're gonna pay me for my time sitting right down here with y'all. You understand? So then, one thing led to another. And I was like, all right, well then, F you. I spoke to 50. And then she said 50. And this is exact words that came out her mouth. 50 does not determine what goes in and go out of this documentary. And he definitely don't pay. He determine what somebody get paid. It's not his documentary like that. I was like, oh, so if it's not his documentary and I spoke to him like that, I don't need to be doing nothing with you because I'm doing this on the strength of him. But you gonna pay me if I do it. So it went back and forth, you know what I'm saying, for a little bit. And then they had Kirk Burroughs giving me calls and everything like that. What are you calling me for? You know what I'm saying? I'm not. Get out of here. I know what kind of dude you is anyway. Me and you cool and everything, Kirk, but don't call me about no business with this stuff like that. And then what I found out is that he was making a deal, cutting a deal for himself as well as Tim.
It was never about the money. It was about supporting 50 Cent and standing for the truth. Once Gene realized the documentary was just a money grab for Netflix, he walked away. The real stories were never told. And once again, the victims were ignored. This is why 50 is now working on a second season that he plans to release on YouTube. He no longer trusts Netflix to handle the truth.
In this new interview by 50 that went viral, where he revealed that he still got unreleased footage.
I seen the interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that because a documentary is the documentary. And they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just going to let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She can say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kurt.
Gene respects 50 Cent because 50 doesn't lie or manipulate like Diddy. 50 was only in this for the truth. Freddie P., the man who first exposed that Diddy's sons were also involved, stood up for 50 Cent. Freddie spoke with both the producers and 50, and that's when he realized that 50 was the only one on the team who truly cared about the victims.
But what Fifth was doing was, he wasn't budging. I give him credit for that, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey man, it wasn't even about the money. It was basically a response from his team, basically like, listen, we doing this on the strength of, we want people to get their story out. We want people who really was affected by him to tell their story. We don't want to base this on money. When we base this on money, then you kind of salt down, you know what. So a lot of people, when you see them telling their stories on that DVD, that's why I give the authentication of it. Is so he made sure that you was only here to, if you want to tell it, tell it. I ain't trying to put nothing in your pocket. I ain't trying to incite you or coerce you to tell nothing against this man that didn't happen. If you gonna tell it, tell it. If you got something to say and you really want the world to hear it, say it. I'm not finna pay you extra to do it. And I gave him respect for that. And basically, they were basically like, man, this not money motivated. You know, we're not moving numbers around just so people can come talk.
As for Jaguar Wright, she believes the documentary is full of lies. She refused to be part of Netflix's project because she knew industry executives would never release anything that could harm themselves. After watching the documentary, all her fears were confirmed. Diddy's powerful friends were never mentioned, not Clive Davis, not Jay-Z, not Oprah. None of them were exposed.